In this lesson, we're going to review just the two ways that averages, or I guess the word average even, shows up in our calculus curriculum. So we've been working on average value, and the average value is our integration sort of formula we're looking at. So 1 over b minus a times the integral from a to b of f of x dx. So that's the average value of a function. We also, way back at the beginning of the year, spent quite a bit of time talking about average rate of change, which is just how much a function changes from one end of the interval to the other. So that's what it asks us for here, is the average rate of change. Okay, so we built up this idea as a sort of a lead up to the idea of a derivative. Okay, and what this looked like was, I guess I could write it the same way here, f of b minus f of a all over b minus a. Okay, I'm not going to type in, this is a calculator lesson, so I'm not going to type in these steps on a calculator because you guys already know how to do that, right? So I do, 4 to the third times sine of 2 times 4 minus negative 1 to the third times sine of 2 times negative 1 all over 4 minus negative 1. And then I just get my result. So I'm going to show you just the delta math solution, and then I'll show you an average value one and remind you how to do that on your calculator. Okay, so you're just plugging everything in and getting these values from your calculator. You can take a second to pause and check if you want that you can reproduce this result on your calculator by typing it in, and we can troubleshoot if you have any problems. So this is an average rate of change problem. You're just plugging in values of the function. We will show you now an average value problem. Okay, so notice in our old problem, average rate of change, here, what is the average value of f? So this is what we've been studying in this unit. Finding that would look like this. 1 over 11 minus 1 times the integral from 1 to 11 of this somewhat ugly function it gives us. And this is actually a function you could integrate by hand, but your calculator is also useful too in this situation. So I'll remind you how to type this in. So you can type it in exactly how you see it. I like to do, this arithmetic in my head. So I'll do 1, should do parentheses, 1 divided by 10 in parentheses, and then I'm going to use that fn int function, which is math 9, and then type it in exactly as I see it, with x as my variable of integration, and then I just hit enter, and then it'll think sum, and that's your solution. We're going to round it to 3 decimal points as always. 41.62. I got. So if you've done the other calculator lessons, this is just developing that a little bit more. The only trick to it is make sure you're reading for average rate of change versus average value, and then you won't get those confused in the AP exam.